The Children's Home of Reading started in 1884 as a day nursery for working mothers and an orphanage, became the home for Friendless Children in 1886, and was incorporated as a privately owned nonprofit charitable organization. In 1947, the Children's Home of Reading changed its name to reflect its atmosphere and its purpose. Throughout the rest of the century, the Children's Home of Reading expands its programs to meet societal needs, from emotional, drug and alcohol, behavioral to educational, and becomes a proud member and funded agency of the United Way of Berks County. Today, the Children's Home of Reading continues to evolve, offering 15 programs to meet the needs of the community it serves throughout the Greater Berks, Lehigh Valley, and Schuylkill regions. Let's hear from some of the team members.
The referrals that we're getting in, we see a lot of trauma in their background. We are referred kids that have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, bipolar and other mood disorders, PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. I am certified in trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, to work with these individuals, and we focus on trauma-informed care because of what they've gone through. So our goal is to be sensitive to the trauma that they've been through in their life, and so our therapy and our approach with them reflect that. We definitely have a team approach at the Children's Home of Reading. The client and the family are a big part of their treatment, as well as their treatment team, which is a psychiatrist, case manager, clinician, and outside entities like JPO, COIS, and mental health.
When a child first comes in, it typically takes them a couple weeks to a month to settle in, to get used to the program, the schedule, the staff, what treatment we're asking them to do, the rules, a new school, a new place to live. The average and typical length of stay is about a year, year and a half, but it is client-driven, so it depends on the client's motivation to complete the program as well as their behaviors, so could be up to 2 years. So going through the treatment, we do see positive outcomes, such as the clients being able to manage their emotions in healthier ways, becoming less aggressive, being able to talk about past traumas, being able to talk about their inappropriate sexual behaviors, and develop healthier ways to cope.
When I started, the program was very small. Residential we have expanded. I do think we have a more collaborative approach. There's a lot of meetings. We have a milieu supervisor and a clinician working together and getting input from the youth care workers and the direct care staff that are working with the kids 24/7. So I see a lot of teamwork and ongoing communication on a daily basis.
I work alongside of the lead clinician on the unit, and what I do is try to merge the two. Mine is more of the communicator in how we work with the kids. There are a lot of different behaviors that we can see, so there isn't a specific formula that you can give every staff to match every single kid, but the more proactive we are, the better off we are in working with the kids.
The girls, they need somebody to be able to listen to and try to understand what they're going through, and just have someone that they can start building trust with again. There was a donor that offered to have them come to the spa, and they all got their hair done, nails done, and they each got their own personal makeup and hair kit specified to their skin type and their hair type, and they didn't expect that. There was an enjoyment for that. One of the main activities, we go to the library once a week. We have Girl Scouts that comes in. I had the opportunity to take the girls to a Girl Scouts dinner at the Doubletree last week. 5 girls went with me, and they were able to practice their social skills and being out in the community with other members and practicing a little bit of table etiquette, and really enjoyed themselves.
I primarily work with both boy and girl adolescents, and the majority of them do come from a traumatic background. So coming from that background, it does take some time for them to open up verbally about that trauma. When they find a medium that they feel more strongly connected to, whenever they feel that they need something to help them calm down, they usually come to me and ask if I have that certain material for them to work on to help them in calming themselves down before they reach that point where their impulses take over and they act more on a behavioral impulse.
So everyone always wants to know what quality and compliance does. Our job is to measure our success and support our programs. So some of the things we get involved in is monitoring initiatives. We perform internal audits and provide feedback to the program so we can improve services and also maintain the improvements we've already made. We also liaison with entities that provide oversight to us. We are Joint Commission approved. JACO certification crosses many providers and levels of care, including hospitals. And all of these things are designed to create a partnership in treatment with the youth, their family, and our oversights.
So my current role here is Director of Community-Based Programs, those programs that are impactful in our community with children and families. That includes our Maternal Recovery Services Program, adoption, foster care, evening reporting center, and our Lehigh Valley in-home program. This is a program for children and families who have not necessarily been successful with other programs. It's almost like a last resort. Referrals are made from the local juvenile probation or children and youth agency. And there's a master's level clinician as well as bachelor's level staff who work very closely with the family and the children. They might meet once or twice a week, or they might meet 4 times a week. It's based on what the need of the child and the family is. Many of these youth have had sexualized behaviors, and safety in the home, safety in the community, and safety in school are current issues. Our staff are able to work with the school, work with the family to ensure that everybody's safe. Our bachelor's level staff work with the children in terms of what the behavioral issues are and how the family dynamics are playing out and things they can do differently within the home to overcome the family dysfunction that's currently happening. So within the Lehigh Valley in-home program, the family and the children are at great risk of having a disruption and a possible placement. And so it's important within the program that we're meeting the family and the child where they're at. The services are provided in the home and in the educational setting as well, so that we're supporting the family and the community in terms of the safety and the dynamics and improvement in the behaviors that are needed. Our evening reporting center, we have 2 of those, one here in Berks County and one in Lehigh County, and those are specific programs for our youth who are involved with the juvenile probation office. And those youth are adjudicated and determined that they need to come to our program as an alternative to detention.
They enjoy coming here, they enjoy interacting with the staff. You know, we try to keep them busy, try to give them something new, show them something new. We have re-engaged with the community. We actually have the guys volunteering at the Hope Rescue Mission. So it is a shelter for homeless men. What I find most rewarding is actually working with the youth. You know, trying to give them some guidance, some knowledge, keeping them out of trouble, off the streets and safe, at least while they're with us. The majority of our youth have positively graduated the program and successfully graduated the program.
A foster parent we sometimes call a resource parent, because a resource parent covers all of the different ways that families can help kids, fostering them temporarily, providing permanency through adoption. But a resource parent is somebody who wants to help a child in their own community. In Pennsylvania, you have to be at least 21 to be a foster parent. You have to have a record free of abusive acts towards children, and you have to have room in your home for a child. But really anybody can be a foster parent. You don't have to own a home. You don't have to even have a car as long as you have public transportation available to you. Fostering is very inclusive. We do not discriminate on age, race, gender, sexual orientation, home ownership. Any family could, as long as they meet the basic requirements that Pennsylvania has, can be a resource family. We have single mothers, we have same-sex couples, we have older families. We've had families that have been fostering with us for over 25 years. Some of our families are interested in providing permanency to kids, while others might provide short-term foster care, temporary care. Others are willing to provide permanency to kids if they aren't able to be reunified, whether that's through adoption or permanent leave of custodianship. And that option that we call SPLIC is typically used more for older kids who have a loyalty to their birth families and they don't want to be adopted. They don't want to change their name. We have a hard time finding homes that are willing to care for older kids and are able to meet those kids' needs.
I've had a variety of experiences that have been heartfelt in working with children who are in the foster care system. I will have to say one of the recent fond moments that I had was during a court hearing with a foster family, and there was going to be a supervised visit afterwards. One of the children was not participating, and as I'm exiting the courthouse, I see the foster father holding hands with the resource child walking down the street to go get something to eat. And so I think just those connections and seeing that happen just kind of touches your heart and makes you realize how impactful our resource parents are on the lives of the children that they work with.
The Children's Home of Reading Day Academy is here to serve the districts of Berks and Montgomery County and other counties that would like to reach out for children who are not thriving in their home schools. That could be truancy, that could be trauma, that could be the classrooms are just too big. That could be a variety of reasons. So once a referral is sent to me by the out-of-school district coordinator, a special education director, director of pupil services, a referral consists of special education paperwork, an individualized education plan, evaluation, re-evaluation, immunizations, PSSA scores, things along that nature. It's all about the health, safety, and well-being and the best interest of that child.
The students that we have, come from a variety of school districts, not just one, and they come from a variety of backgrounds as well, and that would include socioeconomic, and as a result, we may have students that come in the door that haven't had breakfast that day. We may have students that don't have appropriate clothing for the time of the year. Maybe winter, and we have a student coming through the door with a jacket that's insufficient, or it's no jacket at all, or in some extreme instances, shorts. And during the summertime, they may not have hygiene products that they may need. They may not have shoes that are in good enough shape. And so what's most important is to meet those needs first, because they're embarrassed. They have to deal with comments made by other students. And you have to meet them where they are and try to make them feel better about themselves and their situation before they will ever give you the opportunity to teach them anything. Gains occur with all students. You just have to look at what it is that you're looking for that gain to be in, and you can't limit what you're looking at, because often it's not just academic gain, it's emotional gain and behavioral gain. So we're looking at whether or not you're able to come into the classroom and sit down and learn. Whereas before you came to us, that was the issue. You were running out of the classroom every day. You were throwing things in the classroom. You were getting in arguments with the other students. Whereas now, academically, maybe you're pretty close to the same level. However, you're able to sit in the classroom. You're not throwing things around the room. You're not running out of the room. Well, that's a massive gain.
We have a 90% attendance rate in our building, so that's one of the good things that I love about this place.
All my kids in my room are on a token economy. So they know that they earn a certain amount of money. It's fake money that we have put together, so it helps with their money management skills as well.
One of the biggest ways that reading is changing is that we're seeing more and more students who want, first of all, books that reflect them. And so with young adult literature, we see a lot of that. But also, they can get books on their phones if they have them. They can get books on iPads. They can get books on computers. So we have all of a sudden a whole new way that they get books that they didn't before. And that's a really big thing for students, especially students who struggle with reading, those students who struggle to actually work with the text in its original form. This sometimes means that text can read to them with audiobooks. That's a big thing. So services like Audible and educational products like Mayan, and it will highlight the text so the students can follow along as they're reading. For my lower readers, that's a huge thing because there are words they don't know. There are inflections and phrasings that they can't get. This offers a way for them to help bridge that gap while at the same time allowing them access to some of the things that their peers are reading so that they don't feel so separate from them.
At the Children's Home of Reading, it's a team approach.
In order for the kids to be successful, they need to be invested in their own treatment.
The most rewarding things I've seen would have to be the success stories and just having the girls, once they leave here, call. Actually, it happened today. I just had one of the girls call me today, letting me know she just got her diploma.
We are very impactful within our community.
Immediate gratification comes when they get something, they get it right there on the spot, they light up.
I really love my job to just see the students are happy when they come in the building.
And that's a really cool thing to see their pride, their ownership in what they're doing.
Our biggest need is families. Families who will accept sibling groups. And we get referrals for sibling groups of 2 to 6 to 8 kids. So whatever you can do, we have the right sibling group for you.